All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about Dubai and how it's basically writing the rule book for the future of digital money and assets. This is a huge deal, a completely new financial frontier. So, to really get what's at stake here, let's just start with a simple question. Imagine this for a second. What if you could own a tiny piece of a massive skyscraper? I mean, not the whole thing, obviously, but a small digital share that you could buy or sell in an instant. Well, that idea, it's called real estate tokenization, and it's a perfect example of the kind of wild innovation that's happening right now. You take a real physical building, you convert its value into digital tokens on a blockchain, and all of a sudden, investing in prime real estate isn't just for billionaires anymore. It makes things way more accessible and opens up this whole new world of possibilities for smaller investors. So the big question is, how is Dubai making sure this amazing future gets built safely? That's what we're going to break down. We'll look at this new digital frontier, we'll meet the new rulemaker in town, VARA, then we'll dive right into the rulebooks, and finally, we'll talk about what this regulated future really means for all of us. Okay, first up, the new digital frontier. This is a space that is just buzzing with incredible opportunities, but, also a ton of uncertainty. For a while now, it's been a bit like the Wild West. You've got this incredible, groundbreaking technology with massive potential, but without any clear rules of the road, it's super risky for both investors and businesses. The thing is, innovation actually needs guardrails to really take off. And that's the problem these new regulations are trying to solve. And that brings us to the main character in our story today, VARA, Dubai's brand new digital rulemaker. This is VARA, the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority. They were set up in 2022 with a really clear mission: turn that Wild West into a safe, well-regulated global hub. They're doing it by creating a secure and, just as importantly, a forward-thinking legal framework for the whole virtual asset industry. Now, you're going to hear this term a lot, VASP. It stands for Virtual Asset Service Provider. So what is that? Well, think about your favorite crypto exchange, or a digital wallet provider, or maybe a firm that gives crypto investment advice. Basically, if you're a business in Dubai that deals with virtual assets, you are a VASP, and you absolutely need VARA's stamp of approval to operate, period. So let's get to the heart of it. Let's peel back the layers and see exactly how VARA is building this secure digital economy by looking inside their rulebooks. And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures their whole approach. VARA isn't just handing out some simple checklist. No way. They've built what they call a comprehensive oversight system. It's designed to be super robust, institutional grade. In fact, in some ways, it's even stricter than the regulations you'd find in places like Europe. And get this, they are dead serious about cybersecurity. You can think of these rules as a mandatory, multi-layered health checkup for any digital business. VSPs have to go through annual deep dive attacks, penetration tests, by outside experts. They also need quarterly checkups to find weak spots and even run continuous automated scans. It's all about finding and fixing holes before the bad guys can. So how do you market a digital asset without misleading people? Well, VARA has drawn a very clear line in the sand. On the left, you've got the big no-nos. You can't even hint that returns are guaranteed, you can't make it sound like investing is trivial or easy, and you can forget about using vague hashtags like #spawn. Not gonna fly. On the right, this is what you have to do. All marketing has to be fair and clear, you can't hide the risks, and any sponsored content has to be clearly labeled as such. And here is a perfect example, right from VARA's own playbook. So a company is launching a new NFT marketplace. They offer early birds a free, non-tradable NFT just to celebrate the launch. Now, because this NFT has no real monetary value, you can't sell it, it's seen as a totally compliant incentive. It's not going to distract users from thinking about the actual risks of using the platform. Smart, right? Another huge piece of this puzzle is the fight against financial crime. For any client that's flagged as high risk, VASPs have to apply something called enhanced due diligence. And this is not optional. It means they have to dig way deeper, collect more ID data, actually verify where their funds and wealth came from, monitor their transactions much more closely, and they even need a sign-off from senior management just to bring them on as a client. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here. The future of digital assets is definitely regulated, and believe me, what's happening in Dubai has implications for the entire world. You can really boil VAR's whole framework down to these 4 key pillars. You've got governance, which just makes sure companies are run properly. Then there's market conduct, which protects you, the consumer. Tech security, which we saw, locks down the systems. And finally, risk management, which makes sure firms have a plan for when things go wrong. It's like the four legs of a very, very sturdy table, all working together to create a safety net. So here's the most important point, the big so what in all of this. The goal here isn't to slow down innovation. It's actually the complete opposite. By building a trusted, clear, and super secure legal framework, Dubai is making a huge bet that the biggest and the best innovators will flock to a stable environment. They believe this will fuel sustainable growth and cement their spot as a global leader. And this all leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about for the future. As our physical and our digital lives continue to blend together, and as everything from real estate to art gets tokenized, is every major city in the world going to need its own version of VARA to manage this new reality? It's a pretty compelling thought for what's just around the corner. Thanks for joining us.